pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we can begin with the reports of the borough officers. Do we have anything from the financial advisor?
She's working on finalizing the tax income with real estate receipts, and we're seem to be in real good shape financially, budget-wise, no big crises, so she'll have a full report.
Okay. Police chief's report.
I'll have a written report ready for the council meeting, but I want to advise council that with the closure of Springfield Road yesterday and today, and it's going to be a several-month project, we are cleaning up some dead ends with traffic. We had gotten some complaints on some of the side streets in reference to recklessly operating vehicles, too much traffic on the street, stuff like that. So we did a little shuffling with the signs today. And I moved my squad that works 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I'll have extra officers on during rush hour, both in the morning and the afternoon, to address the issues in those areas that are affected by the road closure. Everybody's got to realize that you have to have patience. There are going to be increased traffic on these side streets because that's a state highway that was closed down. And they're not moving traffic from the state highway onto any of our side streets. But people are going to realize sooner or later that they could cut off one street to get to another and end up making it back without hitting the major traffic jam that this is occurring on Baltimore Pike. But it is what it is as far as the traffic goes. We're doing our best to address it. Myself and the manager have scheduled meetings with PennDOT throughout the whole project and the school construction to address issues as they come up with it. Right now, it seems like to be a signage issue. We're going to have some extra officers on to address the traffic issues. And right now, I think we're doing pretty good with that.
Okay, thank you.
Just to pick up on Rob, we had many meetings on this. The flagman would have been an ultimate disaster.
That would have been
It would have been
in the intersection of Baltimore and Springfield.
secondary option of 9 to 3, opposed all day long with flagmen who don't pay attention, forget, on cell phones, all that. People all see it. This is an option that we believe will expedite the project as well, because they can get in there and move a lot more equipment around without cars coming up against this thing. There's a lot of truck traffic too. So
Once we get out of that area at Baltimore and Springfield, closer to the actual school project, the road widens a little bit. So maybe at that time we can revisit the total road closure and look at flagmen. But again, in the short term, for the next couple of months, we're going to be stuck between Springfield and Baltimore and say Wincliffe. And that's because of the curve, because of the narrowing of the road and everything else. We felt it better just to shut the highway down and have them proceed through that process quicker than if they had to constantly watch traffic, get materials down in the traffic and things like that. So I think it's a better option. We just have to fine tune the side street traffic, which I think we're doing fine.
And you guys were the ones who stipulated the 9 to 3, right?
that's a PennDOT rule.
Oh, it's a PennDOT.
They asked, everybody asked outside the window, they're not going to let them go outside the window. We were not going to let them go outside the window. You got to get the morning traffic out of here. Only problem is Springfield Road is a morning traffic 24/7 anymore.
Yeah, it's if anybody's been in the area of Providence and Oak, in that area, they've been going through this for probably the last 6 months, 8 months with Aqua and gas company work. It's absolutely horrible over there, but it's the sign of the times. We got a lot of traffic and a little bit of roadway.
Okay.
Tim, there was an officer up there at 11 o'clock, Walnut Street, just looking for him.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
people driving around.
Like I said, I got detailed schedule up there for the duration of this short area project that's actually causing some of the traffic to come on the side
And
streets.
he just left. He got there an hour later, a car comes right down the one-way street.
We can't catch everyone.
They
We're
see it
trying.
blocked off down at Baltimore.
Yep.
Springfield, and they cut off there. I thought they just go to Fairview.
Yeah. Well, actually, they're coming from what you're describing. They're coming down and beating the closure on Summit, and then they get lost. They're not looking to go down a one-way street. I think they're just a lot of this is people are unfamiliar with the area once they get put in this detour.
I just watch, they don't have a stop sign that way, and they'll just fly through there. And especially with these kids, there's kids there, they're on the, playing all the time down the street.
Any other questions? All right, fire chief's report.
And we'll have a full report at the meeting next week.
Okay. Engineers report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will have a full report at the next meeting, but I do want to announce that the bid opening for the road program work is the 17th, which is the next meeting. So I expect to have a recommendation for your consideration and an award of that contract. If you recall, I guess 2 months ago, I reported that the county has implemented certain new deadlines for the use of liquid fuels and the reporting of liquid fuels. So we provided things work out well, and I expect they will, and the contract's awarded before the end of June, we will be compliant with those new deadlines.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Solicitors report.
I don't have any action items at this point in time.
Community development and code enforcement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will have a detailed report for the council meeting. Much like the chief and the manager, I'm working with the school district on some nuisance issues with overgrown vegetation on the perimeter of the job site, as well as finishing up the sweeping on North Church and North Sycamore where the silt was deposited after that March rainstorm.
Okay.
So we're working on them. That is work in progress.
Any questions? All right. Managers report.
And we have one item this evening. I would like to introduce for the agenda next week or 2 weeks, grant application for grant services agreement with our GSL partners for our grant administration. As you recall, we split that with Long and Nyquist, and the dollar amount had certain contracts in it. We're now going to reapply for the multimodal for DCED, Market Community Economic Development, and a multimodal for PennDOT. We're checking on the the grant parameters for that, but we'd like to put that on the agenda if it does come through fruition, that we'll be applying for at the amount of $6,000. That's for the application process and all the administration that they do. And I think Tim can attest that they earn their money very well.
Absolutely.
So I put that on the agenda, that's all.
Okay. All right. Any questions for the manager?
$1 million. Right. That's worth it.
Okay. Council reports. We'll start with Mr. Swan.
I don't have anything at this time.
Mr. Resnick?
I have nothing to award. The Boy Scouts are doing a spaghetti dinner June 14th at St. Stephen's Church, 4 to 7 p.m. We're trying to raise money for summer camp, which is getting more and more expensive. So anybody, welcome. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Mr. Fagioli?
Not nothing.
Okay. Mr. Braun?
I have nothing at this time, no.
Okay. So I just want to remind everybody, movie night is the 13th of June, so not this Friday, but the following Friday. We'll open the lot at 7:30. Movie will begin at dusk. We're going to show Wild Robot. And 4th of July is in need of some volunteers. Our next planning meeting is the 11th at 6:30 at the Broadway. At 7 p.m. My apologies, 7 p.m. And we're looking for some volunteers in some specific areas. One, we're looking for some assistance with the flea market setup and organization the morning of, as well as someone who is willing to use their truck to drive the little Mr. and Mrs. in the parade. So anyone who might be interested in helping in those areas, please let the committee know. And that's all I have for this evening. Mr. Gorman?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple things tonight. The first thing is a proclamation I'd like to read for the month of June. It's a happy 140th birthday to Clifton Heights. Jane was nice enough to have a cake, so please help yourself at the end of this meeting. Enjoy some of the cake for the birthday. Whereas in March of 1885, because of the rapid increase improvements to ensure that the future growth of the town be specified related to 94 citizens and freeholders of the village of Clifton Heights, part of Upper Darby Township, signed and submitted a petition to the Court of Quarter Sessions of the County of Delaware seeking to be incorporated as a borough. And whereas on June 1st, 1885, President Judge Thomas J. Clayton did grant the citizens petition and formally ordered and decreed that Clifton Heights Borough be incorporated. And whereas the population of Clifton Heights Borough in the 19th century quickly grew from 124 persons to approximately 2,000 persons and reached the height in 1960 with over 10,000 residents today, approximately 6,800 residents populate our borough. And whereas from this outset, Clifton Heights has been home to many outstanding businesses, including its early prominent business such as Thomas Kent's Union Mills, Rockbourne Mill, Gorecki Old Reliable Clifton Bakery and Ice Cream Parlor, Samuel J. Levitz and Son, Glenwood Mills, and James Happenny. Whereas Clifton Heights has always enjoyed many fine eating and entertainment establishments, beginning with McCormick Oyster Bay in the late 19th century, whose oysters, clams, clam soup, and chowders were well spoken of, and the Clam Tavern, which more than a century later is regionally recognized as one of the finest seafood restaurants in the Delaware Valley. As perhaps the most prominent founder of Clifton Heights was William McCormick, who, in addition to serving tasty oysters, served as judge of the peace for 27 years and operated a real estate brokerage that likely sold more than half of the property in Clifton Heights. Whereas in ensuring 140 years since its founding, Clifton Heights has been the proud home of the diversity ethnic population, which has always celebrated their cultural heritage and celebrated those of others in the town. And whereas the citizenry of Clifton Heights has always taken great pride as hardworking people who produce goods, services, and material for the greater population. And whereas being known as a tight-knit, family-based community, many of the civics organizations, churches, cultural clubs, and other community groups form in Clifton Heights and continue to strive to this day. And whereas the mayor and council of the borough of Clifton Heights look forward to the future growth of the cultures, businesses, community groups, religion sites, and civic organizations in the next 140 years. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed this third day of June 2025 by the mayor of the borough of Clifton Heights and on behalf of the borough council that the 140th birthday of the borough of Clifton Heights is hereby marked with great pride of the accomplishments of our residents and businesses in the past and with great anticipation of the opportunities to build the future history of our borough. Happy birthday. Just a couple other things, little reminders. Holidays coming up. Juneteenth is a Thursday. Is the borough closed on Juneteenth?
No.
Okay, we're still open. We have Father's Day, Sunday, the 15th, and we also have Flag Day, Saturday, the 14th. So just another note, we just came back from the Boroughs Convention in Hershey, PA. Our keynote speaker was Carrie O'Henzy. She was the first female F-14 Tomcat fighter pilot in the U.S. Navy. She was very interesting to talked to and what she went through. Some of the council members, as well as myself, we went through a couple meetings. We learned about the PA emergency management. We learned about trends in zoning, tips on an effective public meeting, and the critical roles as a local leader. They were just some of the classes that we all went to. I enjoyed it very much, and I thank council for sending me. Highly appreciate it. That's all I have for tonight, Madam President. Thank you.
All right. We are in adjournment.